Broadcasting live from the Forsaken Crossroads on the plain of Alchemy. This is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome everybody to Tap Tap Concede. My name is Graham. Joining me is Nelson.
Hi, I'm here.
And Wheeler.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
And today on the show, we are going to be talking about Gladiator on Arena and also some rebalances to Baldur's Gate, the draft, a rebalanced draft. What is it? 2022 madness. But before we get into that, a reminder, of course, that this show is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Please check out cardkingdom.com/LRR for all of your card needs. They'll ship you a sealed product anywhere in the U.S., singles anywhere in the world, preposterously fast, and their customer service is excellent. And of course, this show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Or if you're watching this on the YouTube channel as opposed to listening to it, you can now also, we've activated super thanks.
Oh God.
So it's a YouTube, basically it's a YouTube tip jar. You can put it on, you can attach it to your comments, or you can throw them in. You look for the icon that is a heart with a $ inside of it, which I think is a little on the nose.
Hey,
but we do love that you financially support us because it's the only way we can do all of this.
hey, here's a YouTube tip.
Yeah.
Smash that bell button.
Yeah. Just like and subscribe, all that fun stuff.
We appreciate your gratitude
It's true.
as much as we appreciate your money.
It sounds sarcastic, but we really, really do. But you know what else we have to appreciate this week is Gladiator
Yeah.
on Arena officially.
You can
with the
push a
word and
button.
everything. It says Gladiator. It's not like that they did the thing and they gave it their own name or whatever. It's actual factual Gladiator, playable officially on Magic Arena.
Before we were worried about all of Warner Brothers suing us, but now we're only worried about Russell Crowe, right?
No, it's fine. I literally,
No, we talked to him.
week one of me getting this format with this name before I commissioned for official logos, I was like, is this, hello, lawyer I've given money to, is this good? And they're like, oh, yeah, you're fine. Probably. I'm like, okay, great.
So, in case someone is behind on things, briefly, what is Gladiator? We've streamed it, we've played it, we've talked about it on this show before, but as a reminder, maybe someone's new, this could be their first episode, who knows? What is Gladiator?
I've got this down to a fine art.
I bet you have.
Gladiator is a 100-card singleton format played on Arena using all the cards available on Arena except a small ban list that you don't want to play with or against. Each deck can only contain one of any given card outside of basic lands or cards that say otherwise, such as Rat Colony or Persistent Petitioners. There is no commander, there are no sideboards, and the only companions are the ones you include in your main deck and the friends you make along the way.
Terrific.
The ban list is really tiny. It's
Very
a great
small,
ban
very
list. You don't want to see these cards.
For longtime Loading Ready Run fans, it's sort of like as close as we could get to Highlander on Arena, I suppose.
Literally, it exists because Cameron hated playing Magic Online. And so...
Thanks, Cameron.
Yeah.
Have you told him that?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, when it like through official channels, I have a slightly different version
Yeah,
of that
that's
telling,
fair.
but it's still
That's
like
fair.
people wanted to play Canlander on Arena.
And so this is something that we've been playing. I mean, you've certainly been playing a lot more than I have. I mean, I'm in the Discord. I don't jam games very often. But we've been playing for a while. We streamed the Great Big Gladiator games last year. So, big fans of the format. But now, what's the status on Arena? Now, at time of airing, it's Monday today's the 10th?
15th.
15th?
15th.
Right. Yeah, the day after the button will have been around.
No. Okay, so what happened then in the past?
You get to look back in time to the sunny glow of Wheeler and Nelly and Graham just waiting for the podcast to end so they can smash the play Gladiator button again.
It is the first thing I'm going to do when I get home.
Yeah, me too.
So there is a community spotlight going on, which is there's a Gladiator queue. There is a button you press to play against people that are playing Gladiator. It is running, or it did run over the weekend and some free entry. You get a couple of prizes for playing.
2 free cards, 2 free rares.
Yeah, 2 free rares, but you're just there to press that button.
You're just there to play Gladiator.
Like, it was already very quick given the size of the Discord. Like, if you wanted to find games, you could find one in like 15 seconds. sort of
I
thing.
waited 8 minutes once, I think, but usually it was like sub 3.
Yeah,
That's been my
there
average,
is
I
a
think.
small window of like a lot of the East Coasters in North America are asleep, and the Europeans are like on the bus home, and like in that window, it's like
There's a dangerous 25 minutes to play Gladiator.
Yeah.
Normally. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a bunch of pre-constructed decks that you can use to play. You do need to have the cards for the wild cards.
Yeah, we were
which
hoping we
didn't-
were going to get. Yeah.
So shocker to me too.
Yeah. Just found out, right?
But the cards, I mean, a lot of the decks, like, and even with that in mind, like when I was operating under the assumption that, anybody could play these. It's like, well, after this event, if there's going to be a window where someone's like, wow, I really liked that format, I want to play more, I need to build this deck. Like, there are at least 5 of the 10 decks available that were selected from the community, diehard community members, long timers, all that jazz, that are pretty easy to build even with like a relatively sparse arena account.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's very weird. It's still very weird. Like, not to do like a Sam Smith at the Oscars of like forgetting that Elton John exists, but it's like, this is the first like community or fan format to be added, right?
Yeah, I think
to
so.
Arena and
Pretty
maybe
sure.
even Magic on, like outside of Commander.
Well, like Brawl was made up by the Arena team, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah,
think
that's
so.
what I'm
Well,
not.
no, Brawl was.
Or no,
I mean,
was Brawl
Brawl
made
was
up by...
was for tabletop first.
Yeah.
Hey, that's right. Right.
And then they added it to Arena as well. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's no. I mean, I get somebody's going to be like, "You forgot Prismatic."
Who did invent Brawl? Now I'm trying to remember. Sorry.
It was WotC.
Was it
Yeah,
WotC?
it was
Okay,
WotC.
okay.
Yeah,
But,
because
like-
they wanted like standard commander basically.
Right.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And so you've been. I mean, earlier today at time of recording, you were on Daily MTG talking to Blake about Gladiator and why it's so awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whooped his ass a couple of times.
Nice.
Nice.
What deck were you running?
I played an Esper Reanimator deck that was actually one of the decks that you could pick up
Cool.
Is
to
that
play.
Elemental P's list?
LMNOP's list.
Yep.
Yeah, she's built some wild stuff that is always just like the. If you ever want to find a good Gladiator deck, find LMNOP, find her like MTG Melee page. You could just usually find it by like the 5-0s or 4-1s for Gladiator fans.
Do you
I've
spell
copied
that
her
the way
list
that I
too.
think you spell
Yeah,
that?
you do.
Just-
No.
ELLEMNOP.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
That Esper Reanimator deck, and then I played I call it Abzan Sandy B
oh
at
yeah,
home.
the Sandy B at home.
It's Sandy B at home.
right.
Sandy B and her Lulus
It's not-
watching TV on the couch.
It's not the same as in Canlander,
yeah,
but
what's the combo? What do you do?
you're just like a Rally the Ancestors kind
cool,
of like
okay.
deck, like from Old Standard, or
Mm.
kind of aristocrat-y, kind of like here's a bunch of cantripping creatures and blood artists.
That sounds great.
But yeah, it's great.
Cool.
It's very
So-
weird.
Outside of the queue,
Yeah.
if people want to play Gladiator, obviously we mentioned the Discord, which is there a funky? Do you have a easily describable URL for it?
Sure don't.
Okay, don't worry about it. You can probably just search it, or look for it and say
Yep.
Wheeler's page or whatever. But if you're looking to make it, how do you construct your deck on Arena? You have to flag it as direct game, or
That used to be the case.
yeah,
It used to be direct game, but now there's just Gladiator.
yeah,
That's in there. They're not going to get rid of it. Something might break if they got rid of that. Right?
We'll get to that later. That's been a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, now you can just build when you're deck building. You can just set, limited, brawl, standard. You can just set Gladiator as a deck format, and that's very exciting. What are the banned cards anyway?
Oko, Thief of Crowns.
Cool.
Get him out of there.
Nexus of Fate.
Don't like it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Field of the Dead.
yeah. Don't need it.
Teferi Time Raveler.
Sure.
And Natural Order.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then
That's
like
it, huh?
Demonic Tutor available.
Demonic Tutor is
for
legal.
it.
I mean, like there might this isn't me saying this is happening. I
Okay.
learned to do this before I make any statements.
Right.
There's constantly discussion about Demonic Tutor or Thassa's Oracle or Tainted Pact, one of those. But
Right.
like honestly, like other than just the feel bads of losing to a combo deck, those cards are like probably healthier than they are detrimental.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess this is, being as it's as we're recording, it's happening. It has happened. It's occurred. It's on Arena. And as this is airing, it has happened in that the specific event is over. I suppose this is more of a victory lap than a real I don't really know what else there is to necessarily talk about Gladiator in specific on Arena, but it's really exciting that it's officially there.
Yeah, I'm going to keep saying it is very weird. It feels it's kind of surreal. But it's it's a great format. We couldn't have gotten here without the community being as passionate as possible, as they are. I mean, it helps that the Discord has a lot of WotC employees hanging around. Some, such as Ian, being very upfront about it. Others who I'm not going to dox, but are very, are stealth in there. Yeah. I don't want to blow up their spot, but the people like it. They like it internally, and you could it's just fun. It's great. Click a button, play some Singleton. It's not to love.
I want to give a shout out to the MTGO Canadian Highlander scene, which I know still exists. I haven't played personally for a while, but I appreciate that there are people looking for Canadian Highlander matches on MTGO, and I'm sympathetic that this will probably never happen for them on MTGO, any kind of queue or league. I think it's just it's probably a lot easier that Gladiator happened because of the points.
Are you trying to? I think he's trying to wink. I can't tell what he's trying.
Me? Oh,
he's.
No, I got something in my eye. Yeah, it's never happening.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, I think it was helpful. I'm a big part of the history of Highlander or whatever in Victoria, and the way the Canadian Highlander scene works now. And Wheeler also counselor for many years and stuff. And the points list is great and allows you to play any card in Magic and try to balance it all out. But I think when you're trying to sell to WotC staff, the Arena team, or whatever, hey, can we make this a thing that people can jump in on? It's just much cleaner, easier to pull off with the Arena or with the Gladiator rules. So that was probably a part of it too, compared to the other Highlander format that we love.
A ban list that you can count on one hand is
that's nice.
Yeah,
that's clean,
pretty important.
If you want to check out some Gladiator gameplay elsewhere on this YouTube channel, the VOD of the Friday Night Paper Fight will be available, which is Wheeler and Nelson and Cameron and guest Angel, who will be playing in the Gladiator queue that will have aired live on the past Friday night, and the VOD should be up. If it's not up by now, it should be up later today or tomorrow. It depends, but keep an eye out for that. That'll be a fun bunch of Gladiator time. It's gonna be. I expect a celebratory evening, I would say.
We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
A couple beers, yeah.
Should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So elsewhere on Arena, the whole thing broke. Good job.
Nice.
No, okay. We've talked on this podcast quite a bit recently, actually, about the Alchemy Horizons Baldur's Gate limited format and our complicated feelings about it. Turns out we're not the only people that have complicated feelings, including WotC. And so they have actually rebalanced the draft, which is kind of wild. Hey, guess what? I got complicated feelings about that too. On the one hand, it's if you would just accept that it is Alchemy and that it's a draft format that involves Alchemy, and the idea of rebalancing a draft format partway through it is kind of cool. That you don't get that situation where in, for example, original Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, where it started out sort of feeling fairly balanced, and then about halfway through the format, it was well, if you're not red-black, you are losing. That kind of sucks. And so being able to go in there and tune some things is a cool idea.
Imagine how much better Return to Ravnica would have been if we could have rebalanced the draft format a couple weeks in.
Right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, it caused some issues. Let me talk a little bit about what they changed and why. Because if you were looking at it sort of in a broad stroke of what's good and what's bad in this format, it's white's very good and blue is terrible. So we're going to fix a bunch of that. What they said is Most of the changes aim to make blocking and other defensive strategies stronger. We're also making additional adjustments to ensure blue is a more viable draft color choice. And they give this example: Charmed Sleep was poorly positioned against this format's Sacrifice and Blink effects. So we've redesigned. They completely redesigned, actually, You Come to a River to give the color a more consistent removal spell. This redesign and the defensive buffs to blue creatures should make the color stronger overall, with additional indirect help coming from buffs to dragon deck archetypes. So, I'm going to quickly run down the changes they made. Dragonborn Looter is now cheaper by 1 generic mana, so it's a single blue for a 1/2 Dragon Rogue.
Can I play that in Gladiator?
Same activated ability. Yeah, actually, what's up with that?
Well,
Is that one of the things that fell apart?
yeah. Well, no, it arrived in a broken state in that these changes are only for the limited format, right?
Only for limited.
That is my understanding.
Like if I try to put Dragonborn Looter in a historic deck, it's gonna cost 2 mana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like from what I haven't played these in the deck.
Right.
Well, I mean, maybe I have by now, but
I
at
know
the time of recording.
Earlier today,
Yeah.
Amy Amazonian was tweeting about how these cards, you literally couldn't add them to any deck.
Yes.
It was the whole thing was broken.
Yeah.
And they shut the thing down and did some fixes and put it back online. And now you can, but not these versions.
Well, the information I was operating off was from Amy.
Okay.
And then I tuned into the stream and that was talked about.
Right.
If these if you can play them and that they are updated client wide,
Right.
good, great, sure,
Okay.
works for me. Cool. I want to play this card then.
Yeah, I mean, 1 mana, 1/2 Looter, like that seems decent.
Yeah, I could get Trick to play another one. What's the snow one? Blizzard Augur or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a 1 mana 1/2
Yeah.
call time that does it for snow things. Yeah, I'll always get tricked into playing 1 mana looters. Enclave Cryptologist.
Oh, yeah.
No. All right. So Dragonborn Looter is cheaper. Pseudo Dragon Familiar has 1 more point of toughness. Is now a 2/2. Otherwise, exactly the same. Water Weird is interesting. Same stats, same mana cost, same ability. Now an additional ability of this Water Courser effect of 1 in a blue to give it +1/-1 until end of turn.
Nope.
Neat.
So that's curious. Young Blue Dragon is now a 3/4, so 1 extra point of thickness there. The biggest change, actually, is Kenku Artificer. Actually, we'll just mention briefly. It's now a 1/3 instead of a 1/1, which seems like a good idea because I have never seen this card resolved in any form.
I included it in a deck once, but it was a hard card to cast because I would be very dead every time I cast it and needed to play a Charmed Sleep even though they're about to sacrifice their creature.
All right. Other sort of power toughness changes. Val Eager Scholar. The front face is now, these are the specialized creatures. The front face is now a 2/2 rather than a 2/1, and all of her back faces are now 4/4 from 4/3 because they were all 4/3s and they're now 4/4s. Similarly, Alora Rogue Companion, front face is now a 3/3 from 3/2. Back face is now 4/4 from 4/3, so the same sort of power toughness thing. And Goggles of Night is now 1 cheaper to equip, which is whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to player, scry 1 and draw a card, is now 1 in a blue and equip for 1. So then the big change is You Come to a River. So originally, You Come to a River, this is a huge change. 1 in a blue instant with 2 abilities, one of which hasn't changed. Its target creature gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked until end of turn. And then the other one was just bounce a creature. Now it's 2 and a blue for a sorcery. So both of those are big timing changes. And the first ability is now the owner of target non-land permanent puts it on the top or bottom of their library. So it's more of a sorcery speed grip tide effect. That's a big swap.
Temporal Spring or Time Ebb.
Yeah,
the
there you
older
go.
versions of that same effect, yeah.
Can I do a Magic player thing and complain about a card that just got buffed?
Yeah, please.
I really wish they made +2/+0 and can't be blocked. If it's like 3 mana sorcery to do that, I guess it pushes through the damage when you really need it. But like,
It's a cool complaint because that half, the find a crossing half, just got nerfed hard, right?
yeah.
Like now it's a sorcery and costs 1 more mana.
Like, I guess it's just like, if this card is not doing that top thing, then you're probably already winning, you know?
Right.
And so, like,
Right. You can afford to spend 3 mana just to get one of your creatures
yeah,
through. Yeah.
or it's just a complete, utter, like, board stall, just 2 walls facing each other, and you're like, oh, you don't get to make a decision here.
Yeah, I like the idea of buffing Find a Crossing somehow if you have to spend
Just
an
make it
extra
like
mana.
tricks of the trade,
Yeah.
sorcery speed tricks of the trade sort of thing.
Some other changes in colors that are not blue. The Guildsworn Prowler, a real pest of the format, like very efficient card in this draft format. 1 and a black for what was a 2/1 Death Touch, and then when it dies, if it wasn't blocking, draw a card, is now a 1/1.
Wow, they did our boy so dirty.
Yeah, this card was too good, and it was, to be fair,
This card was so cleverly designed.
really
though.
irritating.
Yeah, it was good, but this one was one of the arena only versions, right? Like this card in paper.
Oh yeah.
Does something different, but also cool. This one in paper is a 2/1 that when it attacks, you pay a life and make a treasure. Is
I
that
have
what this
no
is?
idea.
And
I've never
in the
played
Commander
it.
Legends set. I think
wasn't
this
at
one's
that PPR.
totally okay. That's fine. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Anyways, yeah, I really liked how this thing was a 2/1 Death Touch that just kept hitting you until you were willing to let your opponent draw a card.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it's 2/1 Death Touch.
Is this the paper one?
Oh, you're thinking of Grim?
I'm thinking the
Prowler?
other common
Grim?
tiefling from
The
Baldur's
2 mana
Gate
1/3
Commander.
from the OG one.
Maybe that's
Wow,
That
so
makes it true.
originally
Maybe
this
that's
one
right.
was
Okay.
was on Arena as it was printed in paper.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Sweet. Well, great.
I just assumed they were all different.
Still very annoying.
Yeah. Manticore saw a change of 1 more power,
I really like that for Manticore.
which I think is, I like that for Manticore. I like Manticore a lot. This is the 3 and a black with flash and flying and tail spikes, which is when it enters the battlefield, it destroys a creature that was dealt damage this turn. So now it's even a little bit more aggressive in the air, which I like. For whatever reason, and I don't fully understand, I guess because they were like, people aren't playing this enough. Let's make it better. Baleful Beholder is now a 7/5 instead of a 6/5. I don't think that makes it anywhere near better enough to play if you weren't already.
Got to grab 2 more points of those toughness and move them over to the power so we can get Yargle happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't think a 7/5 that is otherwise identical is in any way that much better than a 6/5 if you already weren't playing it.
Do they not just want to make it a 6/6? Like, can they not do
6/6
a 6/6 in
would've been
black? Maybe
Yeah, they
that's
can.
just- is that have they done that?
Black's had like a
At
vanilla. Or,
common?
hasn't Black had like a 6/6 vanilla common?
They had a
some set?
6/5.
All right. No, I'm thinking of the 5/5 Death Touch from Dominaria.
Conversely, I think this next one's a huge change. Eyes of the Beholder goes down to 5 mana.
Oh, yeah.
3 black for -11/-11 at instant speed till end of turn. That makes this into a much more viable removal spell, which I think black. I mean, not that black didn't already have a lot of removal spells, but this format does like its removal. And Sigil of Merkel is now 2 mana, 1 and a black instead of just.
Oh, nice.
Does
Does this do the same thing it does in paper too? Yeah.
Beginning
Looks
of
like it.
combat on your turn, mill a
Yeah.
card. If you do, if there are 4 more creatures in your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control and it gains Death Touch until end of turn. Yeah.
Cool.
Young Red Dragon. This is an interesting one. So lost a point of toughness, but it can block now.
Oh,
So it's a 3/2 flyer, but now it can block.
that's a buff.
Yeah. I think being able to block is probably pretty good for that. Dragonborn Immolator. This is quite a nerf. So previously it had slow fire breathing, so like 1 and a red for +1/+0. Now it's 2 and a red for +2/+0. So it's like, I guess
That's
maybe
sort
not
of
quite a nerf.
technically
It's
a
like,
buff, yeah.
yeah, it's cheaper if you can afford to pay more, but if you can't, like, am I getting this backwards?
No,
Yeah.
It's a buff because it's like, yeah. The only downside is if you only have the 2 mana.
Yeah.
If you only could afford to and wanted to put 1 point of power into it, this version's worse. But as soon as you wanted to pump it twice, this is better.
The
Yeah.
numbers are bigger, but it's less flexible in what you can do in addition to the pumping.
Yeah.
Pretty relevant buff, I think, for Circle of the Land Druid, which was otherwise
Oh, wow.
fairly unplayable. It's a 2/1 now.
Nice.
That additional point of power making this into a piker is actually pretty massive.
Yeah.
Because before, as a 1/1, it was like, that is not worth playing on turn 2 in this format. I think a particularly big buff actually on Druidic Ritual. So previously it said return up to 1 creature and up to 1 land card to your hand. Now you can do 2 creatures if you want.
Oh.
Or 2 lands, or a creature and a land. You can do it. You can do what it was before, but you can also now more flexibly get 2 creatures back, which I think is pretty big. Emerald Dragon, for whatever reason, they gave it Ward 2 and took Trample away.
This I don't know why, but I've kind of been chuckling about this one since it happened. It was just like, oh.
Did anyone
Okay.
notice? Like, does anyone care?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know.
It already had evasion.
I mean, it's nice that I guess it's like, here's my big dragon, please don't kill it. But
Yeah.
also, it's just kind of like, I don't know, maybe they needed to change a certain amount of cards for each color.
Right?
Yeah, I guess.
Ward 2.
Yeah. Split the Spoils is 1 generic mana cheaper, otherwise identical. And then a couple changes to white, because white was very good and very aggressive. Steadfast Unicorn is 1 generic mana more expensive to activate. So it's still a 1/2 for 1, but now it's 4 and a white to activate the +1/+1 and Vigilance.
That's relevant.
Ability. Yeah. Also super relevant, the Adventure Tears Blessing on Blessed Hippogriff is now 1 and a white instead of just a single white.
That's fair.
Yeah, that card, that particular
Oh, no.
combat trick.
Wheeler's
is
like,
powerful.
my son.
What do you think? What do you think?
My feathery son.
Look at how they massacred my griff. I mean, yeah, this card was... every time I have played a deck with this card, both online and offline, I've had 2 or more, and they're always cracked. Like,
Yep.
it's just like, oh, yeah, nothing you do is relevant.
They changed all 3 Orbs of Dragonkind so that they now tap for any color of mana instead of just the color
Oh, I really
that
like
they cast
that.
for.
Okay.
Yeah, so this just helps smooth over all the dragon decks. Miriam's happy.
Yeah. Can they do that on paper too?
That'd be pretty cool. I love this. Lantern of Revealing is now 3 mana and tap to activate instead of 4. I played Lantern when it was 4 mana. This is a buff as far as I'm concerned.
I was so hot on this card when I first saw it, and then I tried it in like 1 or 2 decks, and then realized like, oh, this is like, you rarely, my decks at least or whatever, rarely had like
Time.
nothing, yeah, or just like nothing worse or better to do with their mana, or nothing worse to do with their mana that Lantern was on. You know what I mean? Lantern's activated ability is always weighted in the wings every time I saw it.
Right.
So this seems nice.
And then finally, the Navigation Orb, or the Norb, as we lovingly refer to it here, is also one generic mana less to activate. So it's still 3 mana to cast, and then only 1 in tap to actually activate it.
Sweet.
So I did just experiment on the Arena mobile client on my phone. And if you make a deck that is Alchemy, and you try to add Dragonborn Looter, you may only add the one that is rebalanced at a single blue mana.
Cool.
And then if you change to, for example, Gladiator, then it is the 1 in a blue version.
Okay.
Well, couldn't ask for much more than having my format break Arena, you know?
So I mentioned at the top, at the top of that discussion, sort of by the way, I think these are good changes for the draft, and I'm interested to try it out. I mean, James and I were playing some of it earlier today, and I do think these are overall positive changes for this draft, and that notion is really cool. But it does make some of our initial complaints about this whole thing even worse, is that now that there's a card that exists on paper with certain art, and that now there's a version on Arena in some formats that is different, and then a version on Arena in other formats that is yet further different again.
Yep.
Your thoughts, Wheeler? I see you.
It's just, oh, yeah. That, It costs a lot of money to commission art, I guess, but
For sure.
you know, that's really confusing, Graham.
It is. It's super confusing.
What can't we just for every? I want a new rule. Okay, I'm pitching this to the
Okay.
Arena Dev team. Right?
Right.
We already own the entire art folder for Fallen Empires.
Okay.
And every time you need to make a rebalance, or you want to make a rebalance, it's good for the draft format. See, I kind of want to go draft Baldur's Gate again. Although I did leave because I was like too mad that I was playing cards that didn't do what they did on paper. Anyways, but every time you need to make a rebalance, you have to grab a piece of art from Fallen Empires and slap it on, and then like and then it's got that still at the A at the top, and then maybe you change the name too. I don't know about the name, but it's like you have to replace Navigation Orb with like the third art from Hymn to Turak.
At the very least, get like the a background from like an artist who specialized in like horse in the foreground, geometric shapes / portal to space in the background, like a Susan Van Camp or like a Margaret Organ Keene.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I love that.
Like make it blatantly.
Or ask politely, and Robo Rosewaters might supply you with some art for less money than you're hoping to pay.
Okay.
I'm down for that. If the Arena team wants to keep changing what the cards do, fine. They just have to put a new like Nelson Lifelanch art, or like
Oh, right.
like whatever
The AI.
the AI like Robo Rosewater cube arts need to go onto Arena to be like, hey, just so you know, this doesn't do what it did last time
This
you
card's
saw it.
messed up.
Yeah, it's not the card you think it is.
It's now come full circle where like there would be a card with Specialize, and I remember what it does in paper, and then now I'd spent all the time memorizing all the different specializations.
Oh my
of what
god,
it
you
does.
poor soul. This is why I haven't been drafting this format.
Now I don't remember what it does in paper.
You're going to open it in draft and be like, is this all?
Right, you're like looking for the other 6 sides of the
Where's
card.
the rest of it?
Just like the Shadowheart card or whatever, but end of turn trigger, and they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah.
What does Shadowheart do in paper? I have no idea.
You open
Sacks-
a will in draft and you're trying to like peel it open, like you put in the card.
It just I'm pretty sure it sacks creatures to draw cards.
Oh, this is the paper one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
got
but
that.
in paper, this is like a
So
beatdown machine, right? It costs
Paper-
only 2
paper
to
does
cast,
this.
or 3. Yeah.
Let me just read it out
Sorry,
loud
no,
for
no,
the for
sorry.
those for those
Sorry.
listeners. That's okay. 3 in a black, 3/4 human elf cleric, 1 in a black and tap, sack another creature, draw X cards where X is that creature's power. Also, you can choose a background. Cool.
That's a cool card too. Yeah.
And then you were saying,
What turns into the one online is it's a 2-mana 2/2 with Death Touch.
That's
and
so
you
different.
Pay
So
2
different.
to specialize, but only if a player has 13 or less life. And at the beginning of your end step, it deals 1 damage to each player.
yeah,
And then I don't actually know what the specialization
Turns into a
is for this.
4/4.
the white one is amazing because it's whenever you lose life on your turn, you make a 2/2 knight. And this is losing life at your turn, so it's just you turn it into a 4/4, and then you just get knights every turn.
But yeah, for 2 more mana, once someone's at 13, they're all 4/4s.
See, this only makes things worse because I like the specializations I know are basically what Gladiator decks are playing this card. So it's like I know the mono black one and the green black one, and now there's this white black one that's what?
Seems pretty good,
That
actually.
seems really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
most of the Shadowheart specializations do things based on you losing life.
Yeah.
So it's no, the fourth one just the black one's just a 4/4 with lifelink. So you just get it back. But also
Just a 4/4 with lifelink.
but the weird thing about the lifelink one is that it's not just a 4/4 lifelink in combat. You also get the lifelink from the pings that it does
Oh,
to
yeah.
each player.
Yeah.
So it pings you and them, and then you also gain 2 life back.
Yeah.
Cool judge question.
That's
First strike doesn't matter in fight mechanics, but that life thing does. Yeah.
Yeah.
The mono black one. That's genuinely kind of cool. It's a little neat.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I see what you're doing.
The blue
That's
one,
cute.
you draw a card. I don't know what the other ones do. Green, you put a counter on something. I probably could have guessed that. And then red also deals that much damage to your opponent. So I ping you, but I ping me, but I ping you again.
How is it that I've only seen like the worst versions of this card?
No, the black one's good. The,
black
life
one-
link
yeah,
is good.
The black one is good, but
Yeah,
the red
yeah.
one is
These
good.
other ones are
the
really
blue
clever.
one's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These cards
Arena
are powerful.
Shadowheart is a crazy sweet card.
These cards are powerful.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite cards from the Baldur's Gate set on Arena.
Wow.
Hey, you want to talk about getting confused about like sort of relating what you think you know of a card or of Magic to to another sort of world. It's kind of funny actually that I just grabbed this because I was like, I'm gonna grab a toque to wear out of the prop room, and what I ended up grabbing was this, which is it's a Magic Legends toque actually that we got given at PAX.
Oh, nice.
Right, and that game had a similar issue that I'm gonna talk about. Earlier this week on mobile was released Magic Spellslingers. Which is it's a new
What's
mobile
that?
game. You hadn't even, this is perfect. Nelson hadn't even heard of this. So this was originally released as like a not closed, like a beta. Maybe it only came out in Canada because they often use Canada as like a test bed before something gets released in the States. It was released as Valor's Reach as a mobile like Magic client.
That's a place in the multiverse, right? Like,
it's in Kylum where BattleBot
Okay.
happens,
Cool.
right? And in
Okay.
fact, I don't remember the character's name, but the homunculus is just a big purple eye.
oh yeah, O'Cown
Oh yeah, Okun. Yeah.
or Zindersplit, one of them.
One of them. Anyway, is sort of like the avatar in this app that
Okay.
talks to you and does the tutorials and everything. Anyway, this game Spellslingers came out, and it's like a mobile. Look, people joke about like, oh, Alchemy is the Hearthstoning of Magic Arena. No, this game is Hearthstone. It's just Hearthstone mechanically with Magic in terms of like you have only so many things you can fit on the board, and your creatures lose their toughness. Like they don't like heal at the end of turn and everything. Like it's very, very like
Do you get one
Hearthstone
mana
mobile
every
gaming
turn?
mechanics. Yeah, exactly that kind of thing. Yeah.
Damn, Hearthstone isn't proprietary.
And
turns
it's so weird because we know many of the people who worked on this game. A lot of them don't work at Wizards anymore because they worked on this game ages ago. The game finally came out. No official word about it. No official marketing. Not a peep from even its own Twitter account. I've only seen or heard about it because I still follow these people on Twitter, and they were going, oh, hey, this thing that us and a bunch of other really great people worked super hard on is now finally out. Check it out. And that's the only way that I knew that it existed. And so I checked it out. I downloaded it. It's fine. Like most of the work that the people who I know did was like on like the narrative stuff. And it's, it's interesting because it's like, it's a bunch of planeswalkers having a big duel at Valor's Reach, right? And it's like, oh, they're doing like spell slinging and stuff, and it on the one hand it's really cool. On the other hand, it's another thing like when Beej was getting really into Magic Puzzle Quest or in the Magic Legends thing, where it's like there's a lot of sort of seemingly arbitrary things where things get renamed or new names get made up when you have existing names for cards that you could pull from, and I'm sort of confused. I don't know. It's an odd thing. You knew it existed, Wheeler? Did you check it out at all?
I saw people tweet about it.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to check it out, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's odd.
And now that you said it's like Hearthstone,
Yeah.
I want to give it a shot to look at it.
I'll tell you, it is very, very mobile card game, right? Like you got your daily challenges, you've got your in-game currency, you've got your premium currency, you've got your you do so many things. You come in, you log in, you do your dailies.
Wait,
you
I have a question.
Unlock cards, you build decks, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Did they start working on this before Arena was like a plan? That long ago?
No, I don't think it was that long ago, but it was
Okay.
a long time ago.
Was it maybe before they thought Arena was ever going to make it to mobile?
I have no.
Okay, that's
maybe.
This is not a question I could expect you to
Maybe.
answer.
I don't
but,
know. That's an interesting.
But it occurs to me like if the things you're talking about, it just so happens Wizards of the Coast already does have a property
James, do you
like
remember when
that.
the Valor's Reach stuff came out? Because it was called Valor's Reach at that point, and then
Right,
it
okay.
was.
So I've got the fandom page up here.
Oh.
History, March 25th, 2019.
Okay.
Oh.
Soft launch in the Nordic region as Valor's Reach.
Is that us? Are we the Nordic region?
Well,
we're
we're
not.
not, but I do remember playing it as Valor's Reach
Yeah.
in 2019.
Yeah.
So it did eventually soft launch here in Canada as well.
Okay.
February 26, 2020, it was formally introduced as Magic Spellslingers.
Okay.
Then a year later, announcement of full implementation of the game in the second half of the year as an all-new way to play Magic. Fast forward to literally a few days ago, full full implementation and release of on iOS and Android. Like it. So this was all part of the year of digital expansion that Chris Cox had sort of like pushed out into the world for the year. I think it was supposed to be for 2020. Like this is definitely, it got hit by the pandemic in a real way.
Right.
This Magic Legends, Mana Strike was the other one.
Strike, yeah.
All three of those were just
Mana Strike.
utterly decimated by the pandemic. Like it's
That was
just
another
very
mobile
clear.
Magic game.
So yeah.
How long have I been asleep?
Hey, there's a Play Gladiator button. You've been awake. Things are happening.
No. If there's a Gladiator button, I'm still asleep and dreaming.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
this is-
fair.
Wheeler bolts out of bed in a cold sweat and he's like, "Is there still a Gladiator button?" What?
Gets on the Discord.
Run up to my husband. How many Shadow Hearts are there? How many Shadow Hearts?
Sorry, so what's Mana Strike? It's just another one of a game just like Spellslingers where you play
don't-
Magic but with simplified rules? Like they just came up with two?
I think
Did they
so.
just hire two companies like make Magic but for mobile and easier to get into? And that's all that we're going to tell you. Here's $50,000 or whatever
Yeah, I mean, yes.
for the next
So I
2
think
weeks.
Mana Strike was a Tower Rush game.
Okay.
So similar into like Clash Royale and stuff
I'm
like
listening.
that. I mean, that's just what the
It was
wiki,
Clash Royale, yeah,
that's
yeah.
just what the wiki says. I
All
don't know.
Has it been released? I'll blow up some towers with
yes,
Chandra.
like 2.5 years ago.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll get my old phone out. I
I'm
don't know.
not trying to throw. I'm sincerely not throwing shade at these games or the people that enjoy them. I am so ingrained in anything Magic coming out,
Yeah.
but how have I not heard?
It is
of
funny
these?
that there's two whole mobile releases that
This
we
is
hadn't
my
heard
job.
of. Yeah.
Like,
No, I'm right there
actually,
with you.
it actually looks like you probably won't be able to play Mana Strike. It looks like.
What about Magic Legends, though? I can still go home and boot that up, right?
Oh, I got some bad news for you. There is Magic Battlegrounds, released on the Xbox in 2003. You could probably still find one of those.
I still own a PlayStation, and I think somewhere I have a copy of,
Chandelar?
yeah, no, I was gonna say Duels of the Planeswalkers.
Oh,
that worked.
Okay.
Yeah, you could play that.
Somebody knew
So-
that, Garrick.
The Spellslingers was developed by Seismic Games, which is a subsidiary of Niantic,
Oh.
and Pipeworks Studios, which last month was bought by Jagex.
I want to echo your respect to all the developers and people who worked hard.
Oh,
on
it's
these games and
huge.
stuff.
Yeah,
It's just
hugely.
we're just in this hilarious
I feel-
situation where why didn't we hear about this?
I
and why
feel
is there no
so
hype?
bad for all these people that worked so hard. Again, some of them haven't even been at Wizards for years, right? And the only way that I'm hearing about the game is because they are going, "We worked so hard on this. Can someone please look at it?" You know? And it's like
Right.
that's such a bummer, right? It's such a
Can we speculate as to why this game's sort of being swept under the rug now that it's finished?
I don't think Wizards cares about it.
All right.
I don't know what else there is to say.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just curious. Yeah.
I don't know what else I am inferring from what has been presented that they just don't really care about
Yeah,
it.
to be clear, this is more any laughter or just bewilderment is it's like seeing my sister or whatever after a year or some amount of time, and then there's a kid. And
Right.
it's like, what? Well, where did this come from?
Right.
Why wasn't I let? They're like, oh, we sent out a letter. It's like, how did I not see it?
Yeah.
Like what?
What happened? I don't know. Well, it's here now.
You
Okay.
did say Niantic, though. I gotta say, as soon as you said that, I thought Magic Pokemon Go, and if I could run to a trained Armadon at Ross Bay Cemetery,
I'd be in such good
ooh,
shape.
Yeah, just like every Victoria Magic player is just
Niantic-
completely.
Just a little
Niantic did just
running around.
cancel 4 projects that they were
Oh, they got room.
in different. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay.
Collect all the Planeswalker
Yeah.
gems.
We did a story on Checkpoint about a week ago that industry analysts in terms of mobile gaming were reporting in a very sort of doom and gloom kind of way that it was there was a big step down in mobile game spend year on year from 2021 to 2022 so far. And it's oh, what does this mean for the industry? Without sort of looking at the the last several very strange years, and how it's like, yeah, mobile game spend has gone down to still way higher than it was in 2019. It's just down from this total aberration of a peak when no one could leave the house, right? It's just sort of like, there's things to do now that some people are going to do. So yeah, mobile game time spent mobile gaming has gone down a little bit, but then like the what's his name from Niantic is like, oh, we're having to lay off so much % of our workforce and cancel these projects, and it's like, okay, but like, did you just think do you think graph was going to go up and at same rate? Like what why would you do that?
Well, they are capitalists.
Yeah.
He prescribes to the never quit on a high roll or hot streak. Never quit on a hot streak.
Right.
That mentality.
Right.
Anyway, look, if you want to check out Spellslingers, it's free, right? That's
Sweet.
But it is very just sort of like I have the same thing with it that I did with Magic Legends. As much as I enjoyed, I remember playing a demo of Magic Legends at the PAX East before the pandemic, and I was really excited about it, and what a bummer that just got like canned, but like it needed a lot more work. But like I enjoyed the actual gameplay of it, and I thought it had a lot of promise, but it had the same problem that I have with Spellslingers that I have with the Puzzle Quest, which is just that like I don't know why everything must be renamed. I don't know if this is some sort of internal policy, and if it is, I think it's a bad one. But this thing that like you have names for all the. You've got how many Magic cards? Like 60,000 Magic cards or something, and then
20,000 maybe.
something like that.
Yeah, about 24. Probably.
Okay, that's a little bit more of a reasonable number, but still,
Yeah, it's 5 digits.
you don't need to make up new things. Like there's art in this game from like Magic artists whose names I recognize. That's brand new art for this game. And like, okay, new art is cool. We were just talking about that earlier. But why new names? It's like this card basically does the thing that this other card does. I don't know if it's weirder to me when it does exactly the same thing and gets renamed, or if it does things that's like a little similar, but like I don't know. I don't understand it. It's very confusing to me. It seems like maybe they're like, no, we don't want to keep it. We don't want it to be too similar to Magic in case someone who has no relation to I actually don't know. I'm making stuff up.
The philosophy with the choices of Spellslingers and the philosophy with the choices of Baldur's Gate, Alchemy, like it would be nice if they were the same, since it sounds like they're polar opposite, right? Like Spellslingers is just like renaming everything. Baldur's Gate is putting new meaning behind the same named cards, and both are frustrating, right?
Yeah. It's very, very strange to me.
But like, if there was like a clear bend to do one or the other in all of these kind of sort of ancillary Magic products, I mean, like Arena only draft format is kind of like a mainstream Magic product, I guess, but still, it'd be nice if like the philosophy was like you either make a card and like you keep it the same, or there's just a free for all or something. I guess I probably prefer the first thing.
Magic the Gathering Smash Bros with a bunch of planeswalkers.
Yeah, when's our fighting game
That's a product
coming out?
I'd like to get excited about and then see canceled after a year and a half.
There you go.
I would also play a 5v5 Planeswalker tactical shooter.
Kart Racer.
It's
Kart Racer?
I was watching I think they call it the Showcase of the Skulls.
Okay.
It's the Warhammer gaming event that they showcase that they do every year, right? And they were like, look, we've got this for not 4H for what's the like Civilization style strategy game for S?
I don't know.
I can't remember. It's like, they have like, look, we've got this kind of like real-time strategy game. We've got this turn-based tactics game. We've got this like Baldur's Gate style Western RPG. We've got this squad-based first-person shooter. We've got and it's like we've got this digital card game. Here's all the games that we're making from our IP, and I'm watching this and being like, man, this looks awesome. And then they're making this huge deal about it. They're like maximize for all the other problems that I personally have with Games Workshop and how they run their business. They're maximizing their IP and like being like, look at all the cool stuff that you can do and how different interpretations of our IP can work for video games, and then you've got Spellslingers just sort of chucked out on iOS, hoping someone finds it.
Well, maybe not hoping, right? Because like they have free ad space on like is there? I haven't gone to Daily MTG today.
No.
But you have probably like.
I haven't stopped thinking about Richard Garfield card for the past 2 minutes.
Valor's Reacher rant.
Jesus. Richard Garfield card?
Valorant's Reach. That's better.
That is good.
Sorry.
That's good.
Sorry.
Wow. Anyway, I don't know if we have anything else to contribute to this.
I was going to ask what Magical Legends is or was, but now I'm embarrassed.
Oh, it was sort of a Diablo-style MMO. It was like a multiplayer online, but
Yeah,
like
it was
action.
Magic WoW.
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it looked like Diablo. It was top down.
Yeah.
Okay.
That got like visual
Okay.
third person.
Yeah.
But then it didn't get through beta, right?
Got
The beta launched, but then the real release didn't launch.
Yeah, we
right?
did a stream actually of the open beta, and then like a month later they canceled it.
I'm pretty
so I guess
sure
it's our fault.
I'm pretty sure I was waiting for my beta key.
Hmm.
But then like I didn't get to make a character. I didn't
Yeah,
get
or
to
alpha?
I didn't get
Was
to
it
install it.
What was it? It wasn't public alpha. No, it was beta. Okay.
It was like closed beta, but they were starting to release keys.
Yeah.
Like you could apply or whatever. If it was
Oh,
a
yeah,
button,
yeah.
you could go and click.
No,
I'm
there
like,
was-
I'll
yeah,
join your
there
beta.
There was people playing.
And then instead of like getting an email about that, it was like news.
We've decided no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. At least I got this toque. We've actually got 5, one in each color.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hung on to them just in case. The collector's value.
But they renamed it. See, that's an Azure mana symbol in Magic Legends, right? And then you got like a cream magic symbol.
Everybody's
You got a charcoal magic symbol.
Yeah. Marble sapphire.
Exactly.
Perfect. All right. That's going to do it for Tap Tap Concede this week. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. A reminder that this show is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Please check out cardkingdom.com/LRR for all your card needs. You can buy yourself some pieces of cardboard that can't be changed unless you write on them yourself. And you know what? You're allowed to do that. Also, the show is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun or by leaving us a super thanks here on YouTube. Hey, until next time, I've been Graham, joined by Nelson
I was here.
and Wheeler.
Thank you for having had me. It was great to be here.
And James is running tech. Heather gets these online. Thank you all so much for listening. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.